Welcome back to the NBA Fantasy Smoke Break, where we get you all your fantasy news that you need in about 5 minutes or less. This is everything you need for Thursday. Let's get into it. Boom. Okay, first thing that we have on the docket. Who are the players that are on the rise? Yes, Chimezie Metu. If you watched my last video, you're like, but Josh, he had a bad game. Here's what I need to tell you. I need to tell you that there's more to it than just the stats. For example, this kid was guarding Karl Anthony Towns. Cat, you might have heard of him. That's a tough assignment. That's why he missed a lot of shots, but don't focus on that. Don't focus on the turnovers. Don't say that I was wrong, okay? Actually, here's what I want you to do, all jokes aside. I want you to look at the fact that he still got 25 minutes. He had a really tough assignment, and he got shot attempts. This guy is fantasy relevant. Add him if he's still available. Monte Morris, our featured head bubble of this segment. What is toast? Besides being delicious and a very important part of breakfast, toast is a great acronym for turnovers and assists. Those are something that you want in a ratio. You want to have high assists, low turnovers. Last year, Monte Morris was a top 4 player in the entire NBA when it comes to that ratio. You're going, well, Josh, why does that matter? Well, let me tell you. You're playing in a categories league and you want to win 6-3 or 7-2 instead of squeaking through a 5-4. How do you do that? You put a couple players together that have really good assist to turnover ratios, and you find yourself winning both categories in the same week. Monte Morris is a great player. Not only that, in an interview that came out yesterday, he released the fact that he's been playing injured this entire season. So his numbers have been a little down, but if you look at him over the last 2 weeks, he's a top 75 player overall. But then when you factor why you're getting him because of his assist to turnover ratio, and assists are a stat that are hard to get. Go add Monte Morris, thank me later. Patty Mills, the Australian. Good day, mate. That's my impersonation of Josh Lloyd. Love you, Josh Lloyd. Patty Mills is a must-add for this week, maybe for the next week. Now, don't run out and grab him right now because he only has 1 game left this week. But if you've already won your matchup this week, we have no idea how long Joe Harris is going to be out. And while he is out, Big Patty Mac is going to eat. He's going to be shooting lots and lots of threes, which fantasy loves. Jeremiah Robinson Earl. What is a Jeremiah Robinson Earl? Well, we're going to look at some uninspired footage. Oh, Josh Giddey falls down, passes to the guy open in the corner, and the guy who was there hits a shot. You will notice as I play this highlight package for like 25 seconds that what this dude does is kind of stand around and wait. There, he just hit a mid-range jump shot, but there's going to be another opportunity for him to set the screen, step back, and right here, Giddey with the handoff, he hits the 3. The best ability in fantasy basketball is availability, and this guy is starting for the Thunder right now. He's young, shocking, as all Thunder players are. It looks like he's going to get a lot of opportunity. Give him an ad, see what happens. His best superpower is the minutes per game that he's getting. Okay, now we're going to do a segment I call Stash Pass. This is where if you're winning or doing a good job, you add these players to your IR or the end of your bench, and you see what kind of value they had over the next couple weeks. So let's start with Danny Green. Danny Green is a horribly underrated player, and because he's had hamstring issues the last couple weeks, he's on most of your waiver wires. However, Danny Green, every game he's been in this year, he's been a top 100 player, and that's before you punt. If you're punting field goal percentage, Danny Green is a top 70 player. If you're punting points, good Lord, Danny Green is good. He's a defensive specialist, and if he misses one more game, he'll probably either have the O status or the ING status, which means that you can safely stash him. Thomas Bryant, available in, what's 100 minus 16? 84. Yeah, that's right. Public school, mother. Thomas Bryant is available in 16%, or he's owned in 16% of the leagues. Man, I made myself laugh. We're going fast. We're going fast. Thomas Bryant's going to be back in about a month. If you have the availability, look at this guy. He was a top 70 player last year. I am not impressed by what I've seen out of the Wizards bench players and their bigs outside of Montrezl Harrell. I think that Thomas Bryant is a part of the Wizards' future, and they've been playing really well. Precious, God bless you. God bless you. Sadly, we found out today that OG Anunoby is going to be out, and Precious is available in 79% of leagues. There's a picture of Precious up there. Might be the wrong Precious. Go ahead and add him. See what happens. OG is going to be out. His usage and his shots should go up. Boom. Injuries. As I said before, OG Anunoby had some kind of undisclosed hip injury in practice. We don't know how long he's going to be out, but we know that he's hurting right now. That sucks if you're an OG owner. He's been having an incredible start to the year, but it's great if you're a Pascal Siakam or Gary Trent Jr. owner. Dame, You probably already know this. I did a video a while ago about it, but Dame is going to be fighting through this ab injury all year. Look for him to rest random games. There's a possibility that he aggravates it. I don't know if we're going to see top 20 Dame this year, okay? In the right punt, he could still be a top 20 player. But Dame is battling through that ab injury. He's not slumping. He's hurt. There's a big difference. The news comes out that Michael Porter Jr., a.k.a. Megatron, was not slumping at the beginning of the year. He was playing hurt. This makes me feel better, but also worse. I don't know. I'm confused. But basically, if this dude can get healthy over the next 2 weeks or 4 weeks, there's a possibility he comes back and looks more like 2021 Michael Porter Jr. than he did at the beginning of the year. So, hey, throw a buy low in there if you got the injured reserve spot and if you can stomach it. Because if he comes back, that's like a second rounder. If he doesn't come back, well, what'd you give up? Maybe somebody in the 80s to 100? Time Lord. There's a picture. I looked really hard and screenshotted that myself, so you guys better appreciate the effort that goes into these videos. Time Lord's got knee tendinopathy. This is something he's battled with the last couple years. He sat out Wednesday. Look for him to randomly spot sit for a couple games. Unfortunately, he was out for most of the fantasy playoffs last year. Something to consider if you own Time Lord is, man, I need to have a backup. I can't get all of my blocks just from him. Nothing but baddies. In this segment, I'm going to target players that I think owners are getting wary of, that I think have upside for the rest of the season. So, Miles Bridges. Everyone's like, sell high, sell high, sell high. Well, I looked a little closer at it. I had 2 different people in my cash leagues, unsolicited, offer me Miles Bridges trades yesterday and today. And here's my take on it. I think that over the last 2 weeks, his free throw percentage and his turnovers have been unsustainably low and high, respectively, meaning he's had too many turnovers and he's missed too many free throws. That's really depressed his rankings to where over the last 2 weeks, he's looked like more of a 100 to 80 range player. However, what I really like to see is his minutes have been consistent, his scoring has been consistent, his shot attempts have been consistent. I actually think rest of the season, Miles Bridges is going to be a top 40 player. And if there's an owner that's panicking, this could be an opportunity to buy low on Miles Bridges because his owners are getting a little fidgety out of all that value they have. Richaun Holmes. What's going on with Richaun Holmes? Well, guess what? He's shooting about 10% worse for the last 2 weeks from the free throw line than he has for his career. That's probably not sustainable. We call that a slump. His turnovers are up. We call that a slump. His role looks legitimate. The only thing that would give me pause with Richaun Holmes is that he's in Sacramento, and that is a tire fire. However, I think Richaun Holmes is a lock to be a top 40, top 45 player for the rest of the year. If you can get Holmes on the cheap, I would consider taking a stab at it. Now, this is what I call the Westbrook test. Is the Westbrook owner in your league somebody who, like, Westbrook is his favorite player? Well, then I guess ignore the rest of what I'm saying. Or is the Westbrook owner somebody who thought, man, maybe Westbrook, surrounded by all that talent, will have a great year? Westbrook is currently the 122nd ranked player for the year on Basketball Monsters. He's not having a good year. However, I went through the numbers and I looked at it, and over the entire year last year, he averaged out to be the 77th best player. And you're going, well, that's not good. But if you look at the last 2 months of last year, he was the 23rd best player. Westbrook, the last couple seasons, has finished seasons much better than he started. Now, he's on the wrong side of, I think he's 32 or 33, and he's had some hamstring issues over the last couple years. But from my eye test, he looks healthy. What he also looks is rusty and uncomfortable playing with the players that are on that team. But if you can buy low on Russell Westbrook, there's a very, very, very good chance that he finishes the second half of the season much, much stronger than he has started this first quarter of the season. I'd be looking to make some buy low offers on Russell Westbrook. Take a swing at it. Boom. Do you like this stuff? Do you like this video at all? I don't know. I'm going to still make them because I like making them. If you want me to roast your team, go ahead and comment your team lineup below. I can't roast them unless I know if it's a points league or a categories league, 10-team, 12-team, 14-team, etc. Guys, I am okay with you asking me questions because obviously I've been doing this shit for a long time, like 11 years plus playing fantasy basketball. But when you ask me a question, you have to tell me your league scoring and your league rules. Otherwise, I can't help. Somebody was like, Josh, you called it smoke break. I was expecting you to be high. Okay, well, if I get 1,000 subs, I will do a video of a smoke break where I'm completely blazed. But I think it's going to be really hard for me to keep the energy and intensity up. Is anybody in the Dallas area? Not to dox myself, but that's where I live. I'm going to be throwing fantasy basketball and real basketball watch parties on Sundays at Dave & Buster's. Comment in the chat and I will get you an invite. It's free to come out, and then also we'll have free game passes so I can beat your ass at Hot Shot Basketball. Okay, guys, that's it. Any other things that you have? I don't care. I'm out. Smoke break over.